The story of Antony at Manchester United is one of high hopes, disappointment, and a chance for a comeback. When the Red Devils bought him from Ajax for a huge €100 million, expectations were sky high. But fast forward to now, and fans, experts, and the club itself are left asking what went wrong. And more importantly, could Antony still have a future at Old Trafford? Antony's time at United began with optimism. Erik ten Hag, his former coach at Ajax, backed his potential. And there were glimpses of the flair and skill he showed in the Dutch league. But the Premier League is a different challenge. The speed, strength, and tactics of the league quickly caught up with him. And it wasn't long before the Brazilian winger found himself struggling to keep up. In 86 games for Manchester United, Antony has scored only 12 goals and made just 5 assists. To put it simply, these numbers are not just disappointing, they're terrible for someone who is supposed to be United's next big attacking star. In fact, his performances have been so bad that he's been labelled one of the club's biggest ever flops. With such a poor return on investment, it's no wonder Manchester United are reportedly willing to part ways with Antony. Reports suggest they are ready to listen to offers as low as £40 million, less than half of what they paid for him. That's a huge financial loss, but it shows just how much his value has dropped. Some are even suggesting a loan move might be the best way to help him find his form again and possibly raise his market value ahead of the summer transfer window. United's willingness to sell or loan Antony isn't just about his poor stats. It's also about where he fits into Erik ten Hag's plans. With Alejandro Garnacho and Amad Diallo showing promise, Antony's spot in the lineup has fallen. Even the club's interest in signing players like Rafinha from Barcelona shows they are already thinking about life after Antony. When you consider some of the other disappointing signings at United like Mason Mount, Andre Onana, and even Casemiro to some extent, Antony isn't the only one who has struggled. However, he might be the most high-profile failure because of his price tag. For that amount of money, United expected a game changer. A player who could light up the Premier League and add flair to their attack. Instead, they got inconsistency, bad decision-making, and a player who seems to lack the confidence and sharpness that made him such a big prospect at Ajax. His dribbling, which was supposed to be his strongest skill, has dropped a lot. In his last season at Ajax, Antony had a good 66% success rate when taking on defenders. In the Premier League, that number has fallen to 32.6%. This means he's beating his defender less than 1/3 of the time, not great for a £100 million winger. Part of Antony's struggles can be blamed on the difference in quality between the Eredivisie and the Premier League. Defenders in England are faster, stronger, and smarter. The fancy tricks that might have worked in Holland just don't work the same in the Premier League. His overuse of skill moves, which often slows down play instead of moving the ball forward, has been a big problem. He also seems to avoid using his weaker foot, forcing himself to cut inside on his left even when it's not the best option. This one-dimensional style has made him predictable, and Premier League defenders have figured him out. Compare this with players like Arjen Robben, who, despite being very left-footed, had the smarts and ability to still dominate defenses. Antony, at least for now, doesn't seem to have that same ability. It's not easy for any player to handle such intense pressure both on and off the pitch. But at Manchester United, especially with the high price tag hanging over his head, the pressure is even greater. Every mistake is magnified, every missed chance is criticised, and it's safe to say that Antony hasn't handled that pressure in the best way. There is still hope, though. Antony is only 24 years old, and his career is far from over. A loan move, maybe to a team like Wolves or even back to Ajax, might be exactly what he needs to rebuild his confidence. A less intense environment, where he isn't under so much pressure, could allow him to focus on improving his game. At Ajax, he was a standout player, helping the team win 6 Champions League group stage matches and always performing at a high level. A return to that form, or playing for a team where he can play regularly and regain his momentum, could be the step he needs to get his career back on track. But let's be honest here, if Antony doesn't improve, doesn't make better decisions, and doesn't work on using his weaker foot, a loan will only be a short-term fix. He needs to be more than just a player with flashy skills. He needs to play smarter, especially in a league as tough as the Premier League. Whether Antony stays or leaves, it's clear that Manchester United will keep moving forward. The club is in a rebuilding phase, and they need players who can perform well consistently at the top level. Garnacho, Diallo, and possibly new signings might be the future. Antony, right now, looks like a player who will be left behind unless something changes quickly. However, there's still a feeling that Antony has untapped potential. At his best, he's an exciting player who can thrill fans with his creativity and flair. If he can learn to adjust his game, if he can regain his confidence, and if he can block out the off-field distractions, there's still a chance for him to succeed at United or somewhere else. But time is running out. If Antony is going to turn things around, he needs to do it fast. Otherwise, he could end up being another cautionary tale of a young player who couldn't handle the pressure at one of the world's biggest clubs. So, what do you think? Can Antony revive his career? Or is his time at Manchester United truly over? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more football insights.